Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Sean's Horror Corner. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in today. To everyone out there who has been watching the videos, liking, commenting, sharing, and then as well as following me on social media and commenting there and helping me share the videos that way. Just thank you all so much. You guys are amazing. I do appreciate your support, your encouragement. It means so much to me. So thank you all. Today, we are going to be talking about Psycho Killer from 2026. This one, so I had heard of this movie. I did not go see this in theaters. Um, I had heard it talked about, a little bit on some other podcasts, YouTube channels, that kind of thing, when it was getting close to time for that one to come out, or about it being released this year. But I didn't get a lot of details. I just heard a lot of, basic things here and there about the film, and I wanted to see it. I think it very briefly for maybe like a week came to a theater near me, and I planned on going to see it, wanting to go, wanted to go see it, and then a few things just happened, along that time frame. There may have even been something else out. I don't recall that part, but never made it to the theater to see this. And then I'll be completely honest with you, I kind of forgot about it. I didn't hear a lot about this movie. I don't think marketing was great for this film because I just don't feel like there was a lot of buzz. Other than hearing people talk about, horror movies that were coming out this year, then I just never heard it mentioned again. Um, I don't recall anyone doing a review of it on any of the podcasts or YouTube channels that I follow. Maybe someone did, and I'm just forgetting. So I apologize if that's the case. But I just didn't hear much about this film, and like I said, kind of forgot about it until suddenly it popped up, and I saw that it was streaming somewhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to see that. I wanted to talk about that. So recently, finally got around to watching it, and we're going to talk about it today. And it's one of those movies, probably in some of my recent episodes, or at least the last, few weeks or whatever, you've heard me talk about the turn in a movie. And I never really realized that was a thing for me until my friend Brendan at Our Life in Horror pointed it out. Because there are some movies where uh, I start off really enjoying the film, liking some things about it, and then there's a turn where things start to go south, or vice versa. Maybe I start off not enjoying the film and then something happens. And so this movie definitely has one of those turns, and we'll get into that. But let me uh, let me put my glasses on. Getting old a bitch, so I'll put my glasses on so I can read my notes, and we'll get started talking about Psycho Killer. Tagline for the film: He's coming for you. Synopsis for this one: Following the brutal murder of her husband, a Kansas Highway Patrol officer sets out on a journey to track down the perpetrator. As the hunt progresses, she comes to realize the man responsible is a sadistic serial killer, and the depth of his mental depravity and his sinister agenda is more twisted than anyone could have imagined. Film released February 20th of 2026, directed by Gavin Polone, written by Andrew Kevin Walker, distributed by 20th Century Studios, runtime of 91 minutes, budget of $10 million, and box office only 2.56 million, so did not do well at the box office. And I feel like, again, I mentioned it just a minute ago. I don't think the marketing was good for this movie. Now, maybe it's because of other things it was coming up against at the time, but yeah, I don't feel like there was a buzz about this film. I don't recall seeing a lot of trailers. I don't recall hearing, like I said, hype and people talking about it on social media. This movie just, yeah, I think a lack of marketing definitely reflects in poor box office performance, in my opinion. But cast for the film: Georgina Campbell, James Preston Rogers, Malcolm McDowell, Logan Miller, Grace Dove, and Nigel Sean Williams. We'll stop there and let's talk for a minute about cast and characters. Georgina Campbell's fantastic. She does a great job in this movie. I love her performance. Um, I think she's a very solid actress, really good. I definitely want to see her in more stuff um, because everything that I've seen her in so far, I think she's really good in. And I like her character. I think we can feel for her character and what she's going through in this film. So, yeah, great job by her as far as performance, and really like her character as well. From there, our villain is good. This is one of those where, I mean, yeah, we get to hear him talk sometimes. Voice is a bit much, in my opinion. They really kind of go overboard trying to make. He sounds like the guy in Cobra, if you ask me, if you know what Cobra is. But um, I mean, it's fine. This is a decent villain. The costume, the look of the villain is fine. Um, he does seem very menacing. He is very brutal. That's all a plus. The rest of the cast, I just don't care. This is one of those movies where, we, I don't think we spend a lot of time with anyone else in this movie. So it's all just moments here and there. But so it's not like we're getting this, great group of characters and in-depth characters and that kind of thing. So that probably contributes to why I feel the way that I feel to a certain degree. But yeah, it's just a bunch of secondary characters that are in and out, and none of them really stand out to me as, oh, I really like this one, or oh, even though I didn't like this one. I mean, they were just, excuse me, they were just there. So yeah, the rest of the characters, and not that anyone does a bad job. The rest of the cast is fine. They do what they're there to do. I just don't think anything else really stood out to me that much. Um, Cinematography for the film, I think, is fine. The movie looks good. I think the effects are pretty good. We get some good kills. Yeah, I think the film is shot well. I don't think there's anything that looks bad. I really like the opening scene for this. We'll get into that here in a few moments. I think it looks really good. Um, yeah, everything's fine. I mean, again, nothing here that's just mind blowing other than, I've said this multiple times. People who know me know I absolutely love snow. So I like the opening scene for this movie. Um, from there, it's fine. There are some choices here and there that I don't necessarily like, but it's more story related than cinematography, because the story for this film is what's responsible for that turn that I talked about. I like this story early on. I like what we're doing with this film. I like where it's going. I think it's very interesting. It's entertaining until a little over halfway through the movie, and then we uh, do our little twist of we're trying to get why the things are happening that are happening. And I'm just like, what the hell? There's a couple of things, really, the second half of this movie that I just think are silly. I don't think it fits. I mean, I don't know, maybe fits is the wrong word. It just doesn't flow together for me the way I would like for it to, and starts to take me back out of this film. But we'll get into that as we walk through the plot. Score's fine. Yeah, nothing really to say good or bad about that. But only a couple of production notes. I'll mention a couple of things here real quick, and then we'll start to walk through the plot on this. This is Gavin Pollone's directorial debut, which not bad for a directorial debut. That's fine. And then this project was in development actually for several years and had several different filmmakers attached to it. Amongst those, Fred Durst and Eli Roth names were both attached at one point. But a lot of things caused this movie to just keep getting held up and not quite working out right. And so, yeah, it just eventually they got who they wanted and did what they wanted to do. But like I said, not much as far as production notes. So let me get a drink of my coffee here because it's early. All right, and we will get started now walking through Psycho Killer. So we open this film up. We get some newspaper clippings. We hear about these murders that are going on. A lot of satanic symbols being left at scenes. And then we get a Kansas Highway Patrol officer pulling over a man, or actually he doesn't pull over the man. He's following this guy down what looks like a very, not a lot of traffic on the highway. There's a lot of snow and things on the side of the road and on the road. So there's not a lot of traffic out. Once the highway patrolman is behind the guy, he ends up, pulling over on his own. He doesn't get pulled over. He pulls over on his own. And then we see him reaching, as he pulls over, then the highway patrolman pulls over behind him. We get kind of a shot of the man reaching for the gun. The officer comes up to the window. He's asking the guy, if something was wrong, why he pulled over. I think he says something to him about he was, tired, thought he should rest a little bit. We see another highway patrol car pull up, and here is our primary character, played by Georgina Campbell. Her name is Jane. She's asking the other officer if he needs any help. We pick up that they're, together. They're a married couple that both just happen to be highway patrolmen. He tells her no, he's got it, and so she's done for the day and is about to head home. As she pulls away, we see her kind of watching in the rearview mirror, and she turns around and pulls back up behind the cars, kind of like she senses something is wrong. And then we see the guy reach out to his window, grab a hold of the officer's jacket, pull him closer, and shoot him. and then he backs into the vehicles, kind of hindering her being able to do anything about it at the moment, to where by the time she's able to get out of the car and do something, he's already pulling away. That's our opening scene. So, her husband, other highway patrolman, gets killed by this guy. We know there's a lot of murders going on, a lot of them along the highway. I think this is a good opening. All of that to be said, I think this is a good opening. Again, I like this look. I like this setting that we're doing this in. The moment the guy spoke, when the patrolman is talking to him, I'm like, damn, we're really going over the top with this voice, but okay, it's fine. Like I said, it reminded me of Cobra, but if you don't know what Cobra is, it's probably not going to make any sense. Good opening scene. You kind of sense that something's going to happen when you see the guy reach for the gun, but again, the fact that it happens there in front of his wife and she's also an officer. I feel like this is a good opening. It's setting the stage, letting us know somewhat what we're in for. Looks good. Good opening scene. From there, we see, we cut now and we get the killer as he's driving. He listens to what sounds almost like a satanic preacher on the radio quite a bit, so we get to hear a lot of that. The guy's name is like Mr. Pendleton. We see him go to a pharmacy. He kind of pulls in this parking lot and he's just watching people kind of going in and out there for a little bit. We also see Jane trying to deal with what she's been through now with the loss of her husband. She's seeing a psychiatrist there at work and really doesn't seem to be interested in what's going on. She's doing some research and reading articles about this killer. We hear on the news there's a lot of, again, like satanic symbols and things done around. So they feel like the guy is, a Satanist to some degree. Jane's going to take some time off to try to hunt him down. Back here at this pharmacy, we finally, as the pharmacy closes and everyone's gone, we see this pharmacist come out and get in her car, and our killer is in the back seat. So he then kills her, goes into the pharmacy, and we see him, stealing and taking a bunch of drugs. He also leaves again, I believe, some symbols there around the pharmacy, and then a little bit later we get another kill. We get Jane talking to her dad, and he's concerned about what she's doing. We see another kill here where we see a man and a woman pulled over on the side of the road, and the guy's changing a tire. Killer ends up approaching and kills the man. The woman gets out and is trying to run away, but a truck that's coming down the highway ends up hitting and killing her, and crashes and causing this big explosion. And again, we see our killer leaving some satanic symbols around. And we see then Jane trying to reach out and get some help from some other law enforcement agencies. Again, decent kills. We really don't see much of what happens to the pharmacist. We just know he's killing her in the back seat. When he steps up and kills the guy that's changing the tire, that's fine. The truck hitting the woman looks good, and the big explosion there that happens. But it's fine. I mean, I was still intrigued and still very curious as to where exactly we were going to go and what was going to happen, and the story of Jane, trying to follow him down and track him down because she wants one more shot. She wants an opportunity to kill him. I mean, I'm okay with everything. Maybe a little heavy-handed with some of the satanic stuff, but everything's okay here. In the process of going through all of these things, Jane finds out that she's pregnant, which makes things a little more difficult on her as well now, knowing that the father of her child is dead. One of the agent Collins that she had spoken with previously agrees to help her, and so they meet and they go over some things, and we find out about a gentleman named Richard Reeves, who was a satanic preacher who killed a congregation in a church. He was believed to have died in prison. We also find out from this FBI agent, she's able to give Jane a hint of maybe what kind of path this killer is taking, because they, found other crime scenes in like hotel rooms where he had killed people and again left satanic symbols and things like that on the walls. But it kind of helps, Jane get started in looking for him. We also find out that a bunch of explosives have been stolen, which when I heard that the first time, I've seen this movie twice now. I watched it once when it first came out, and then I watched it again a few days ago to prepare for this. The first time I watched this, and Jane and Agent Collins have the conversation about the explosives being stolen, I guess I just missed it. It just didn't dawn on me, uh, that piece of information. When I watched it this second time and heard this, I'm like, okay, that explains later. Um, I just think it's weird. We'll get into that as we get more towards the end of the film. Um, we have a scene here, a pretty, I don't know, a good kill, pretty graphic scene. Our killer goes into a Catholic church. He ends up going over like into the confessional booth, and the priest comes in to, talk to him, and then he ends up stabbing the priest with some like pipe type thing in the neck, and then like drinking his blood through the pipe. Pretty disgusting, but looks good. Um, Jane is able to finally track him down to a hotel in Nebraska, which he goes into the room and starts looking for him. He's able to kind of trap her and attacks her. They battle a little bit. We hear other police cars coming. He's able to escape. He also places an ad like in a newspaper where he's reaching out for like-minded believers. And then it kind of gets answered in this code. But watching these newspapers and things as well, Jane and also is able to see his ad and this code, since she's starting to figure this out a little bit, so she knows or has an idea of where he's going next and what's going on. All of this here I thought was pretty good. I thought the interaction between Jane and Agent Collins was good. That she's got at least somebody there trying to help her a little bit. Able to give her some of the information kind of helps things make sense, because if she was able to just go out and track him down on her own without knowing what the hell was going on, it would, definitely be a plot hole. But she gets just enough from Collins that she's able to start to figure some things out. I thought the hotel scene between Jane and our killer was pretty good. It was, it was intense. It was, it was fine. Yeah, the whole code thing, okay. I'm all right with it, I guess, because it's setting up other things that are to come. I felt like Jane cracked it pretty easily. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm hoping I'm not getting sick again. But yeah, still on board, still enjoying the movie. I don't think the pacing, I mentioned earlier, the runtime for this film is only 91 minutes. At this point, I don't feel like the film is dragging, but I do kind of wish there was a little bit more going on, but it's enough. It's enough that it's keeping me slightly entertained going through this. And then here, as we get into our kind of second act and start to get towards the more towards the end of the film, is where things start to get a little bit crazy. Our killer ends up arriving at this mansion that apparently is lived in by this Mr. Pendleton that he's been listening to on the radio. Someone there is the one that reached out to him and answered his ad in the newspaper. So he goes to this mansion. He kind of gets information about someone that he is looking for named Leonard Wilkes. We also get, Pendleton talking about his beliefs. We meet some of the followers, and then it just gets really strange. A few things get said here and there that cause our killer to not really believe that they're pure Satanists, that they're not true believers. And so we have a crazy scene that I just don't know. I think it's there for the kills and the body count, but I don't know. It's just silly to me. All these followers in this mansion, with the exception of one, the one guy who was able to get our killer the information, they start having an orgy. And while they're having this orgy, because our killer doesn't believe that they're true believers, he ends up coming in and killing them all. He's got an axe, and he's just like hacking people up while they're trying to have this orgy. Again, I get what they're trying to do here. The reason for him being so upset and killing them is because he doesn't feel like they're true believers, right? So I'm fine with that. I just thought it was odd to have it happen the way that it did during an orgy, and why. And the fact that, he doesn't give them a lot of time to react, but there's like 6 people in this room doing their thing, and he's able to come in and get to all of them with his axe, without much resistance. I don't know. I just thought the scene was silly. I understand again what they were trying to do with why he's killing them, but I just thought it was doing it this way. I'm like, what the hell? Why did this need to be thrown in here? And if you know me, I love slasher movies. Not objected. I don't have a problem with there being nudity and things like that in film, but I just thought this setup was odd. I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess that's why we did this, is just to throw that in there, because I just thought the way it would have been much better had he have gone back to the mansion and kind of stalked these people in the mansion and killed them one by one instead of this weird, crazy orgy scene, in my opinion. Um, yeah, as he's killing all of them and starting to escape, Jane arrives. He also sets the mansion on fire after he kills these people. Jane arrives, but as she's kind of pulling up in her vehicle, the slasher's leaving, and so he's able to run her off the road and escape yet again. So kind of more cat and mouse going on there. Later, our killer arrives at the home of this Leonard Wilkes, who he had wanted this information on and got it. We find out that Leonard is like the manager at like a power plant. We see the slasher there in the Wilkes home, like he kidnaps Leonard. He's getting his explosives ready. He forces Leonard to take him back to this power plant and kind of sneak him inside. And we find out now that he's basically on a suicide mission. And we've heard this throughout the film. We've gotten little clips here and there of things that took place previously at this power plant and some things that went down to try to give us the reasoning behind our killer going there and doing this suicide mission there. I just thought it was weird. I thought it was a poor choice of where to go. It takes away, in my opinion, a little bit from everything else we've been setting up, with him being this true believer, that kind of thing. And again, his purpose in going there is this is a suicide mission, right? He's got all these explosives. He wants to blow things up in this power plant and basically blow a hole in the earth to open up the gates of hell, is what he's trying to do, which again is fine. It's just, I don't know. I just thought it was odd. To me, it's a poor choice of the way to do things. Again, I understand what we were trying to do. I just don't think it works. It just really, between the mansion scene and the orgy, and now we're going to go to this power plant and do these things that way. And now it's almost like we've our killer's motive has now changed from just being a crazy killer who's, claiming to be a Satanist and doing these things, to now there's a political agenda involved. And I don't know. I just thought it was odd. Poor choice. I just didn't like that part of this film. As he's there, he's starting to kill a few people. He's getting things set up. Jane has also now figured out his plan. She's able to get, a bunch of people together to try to start setting this up. Again, we see our killer killing some guards, forces Wilkes to help him set up his explosions. And then he kills Wilkes. He's got a bunch of dynamite strapped to his body and is kind of getting ready now to go through his whole ordeal because of where he's got himself locked up at. The guards and the police are not able to get to him to put a stop to this, and so they're starting to think now they've got to start evacuating people from this area because this explosion can kill multiple people. But Jane is able to get to an area where she's able to get a shot off. And so she's able to shoot our killer a couple of times, not kill him, but shoot him before he's able to set off these explosives and kind of save the day. Again, I thought this was silly, to be completely honest with you, because we've got all these guards, we've got all these law enforcement officers, and it's kind of like an area where Jane and this one security guard takes her where they can see him through this like bulletproof glass, right? That's why they can't get to him through here, but they're watching him through there and knowing what he's about to do. But even though this glass is maybe bulletproof is not the right word, shatterproof, Jane is still able to use things to finally bust enough of a hole into this shatterproof glass where she can then get her gun and then shoot him. And he seems to be delaying things as well. Like he's got everything set up to do what he wants to do, but he's doing it very, very slowly, which is making it perfect timing for her to do what she needs to do. And I don't know, this whole power plant thing just doesn't work for me. I don't think it was the best route to go with this film. We then cut to our finale here. We find out that our villain was this Mr. Reeves, who had been mentioned earlier for killing the church congregation. That he faked his own death in prison. He is now taken back to prison where this all started. And we find out that Jane is still struggling, trying now to get over things as she wakes up from a nightmare where our psycho killer is there in her home and attacking her. And that's it. That's the end of Psycho Killer. I don't mind the finale to a degree, that we see that Jane is still struggling with things, and that the irony of him now being returned to this prison where he started all of this. That's fine. I just feel like this movie started off pretty strong. We had a lot of, we were getting some good kills. We were getting Jane's character being more and more developed and seeing what she was doing, and kind of the cat and mouse going on between her and the killer. Once we hit the mansion, and we start to learn the motive, and again, we have the crazy orgy scene, and then we have all this power plant nonsense. I don't know. That's where the movie starts to take the turn that I was talking about in the mansion, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there. I really enjoy the first half of this film. Second half of the film, not so much. And so when it comes to rating this one, it's going to cause it to fall very middle ground. I don't think this is a terrible movie. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I also don't think it's, an excellent or really good movie either. It's pretty mid in my opinion. Man, I need to go back to bed, in my opinion. So yeah, maybe just a touch better than average. I think on my scale of 1 to 10, I'll give Psycho Killer a 6. I might give it a rewatch somewhere down the way, and if they do a 4K release of it, because I'm a collector, I'll grab it and add it to my collection. Maybe with us knowing that our killer is still alive and he escaped once, maybe he'll escape again and we'll get another one down the road. Who knows? I don't think it's needed. But if they do it, I know me, I'll check it out. But yeah, Psycho Killer, I'll give a 6 out of 10. So if you've seen this movie, leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Do you like this one? Do you not like it? Do you think the mansion and the power plant things kind of took away from the film and hurt things a little bit, or were you perfectly fine with it? I'm curious what you think about this movie if you have seen it. If not, go watch it and come back and tell me what you think. But definitely leave me some comments. Hit the like button for me today. Hit the hype button. Share the video. Follow me on social media. I'm pretty much on everything out there. Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, Letterboxd. Just search Sean's Horror Corner. You can find any of that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Got a couple of fun episodes coming up this week. My friend Brendan from Our Life in Horror, he and I are going to start going through the Evil Dead franchise. I had hoped that we would get through all of it before the new one releases. I don't think we're going to quite make it through all of them, but we're going to get pretty close. And then eventually I'll talk about the new one on here. So hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. I've got a lot of other fun stuff and guests coming back to talk about more movies and franchises and things that we've been doing, and then still me popping in and doing some stuff by myself here and there. So hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the hype button. Please leave me some comments. Share the video on social media. You do all those things, and I will see you soon.